A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development in the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, the United States has quietly instituted a review process that grants Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth the authority to prohibit Ukrainian long-range attacks inside Russia using American missiles. This decision, as reported by the Wall Street Journal, has effectively curtailed Ukraine's ability to strike deep into Russian territory for several months. The unannounced approval process, which has been in place since late spring, has specifically prevented the use of Army tactical missile systems, ATACMS, against targets within Russia. An unnamed official confirmed that this measure was put in place to oversee Ukraine's use of US-made weapons, as well as European arms that rely on American intelligence and components. The review mechanism was developed under the Pentagon's Policy Undersecretary, Elbridge Colby, who has also introduced a rating system to assess the availability of specific weapon stocks. This system categorizes weapons into red, yellow, and green categories to determine what can be supplied to Ukraine. Notably, this review process also applies to British long-range Storm Shadow missiles, which depend on U.S. targeting data. On at least one occasion, Ukraine had planned to use ATACMS against a target within Russian territory, but was denied the necessary approval. The last shipment of ATACMS to Ukraine was authorized by the previous administration in the spring. Despite former President Donald Trump's assertion that Ukraine cannot win the war without the ability to attack Russia, U.S. officials have indicated that his statement does not reflect a change in policy. There is speculation that Trump may reconsider and allow expanded offensive operations against Russia, according to a senior White House official. In an effort to secure U.S. security guarantees, Ukraine has proposed purchasing $90 billion worth of U.S. weapons, a move aimed at solidifying Washington's long-term commitment to Kyiv. This proposal is expected to be financed by Ukraine's European allies, who would fund the acquisition of American arms. Ukraine first received shorter-range versions of ATACMS in the fall of 2023, and by the spring of 2024, the U.S. began supplying upgraded models with a range of up to 300 kilometers. Initially, Ukraine was only permitted to deploy these missiles against targets in occupied Ukrainian territory. The recent news comes amid President Trump's growing frustration over the three-year-old conflict and his inability to broker a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Following a summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin and subsequent meetings with European leaders and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Trump expressed his concerns about the lack of progress in negotiations. He stated that he is contemplating imposing economic sanctions on Russia or potentially withdrawing from the peace process altogether. Trump emphasized the importance of the upcoming decision, indicating that it could involve massive sanctions, tariffs, or a non-interventionist approach. However, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has indicated that there is currently no agenda for a meeting between Putin and Zelensky, stating that the conditions for such a summit are not yet in place. As the White House continues to push for peace talks, the approval process at the Pentagon remains a significant barrier to Ukraine's military strategy against Russia. The Defense Secretary's final say over the use of long-range weapons has further complicated the situation, leaving Ukraine with limited options in its defense efforts. The ongoing conflict has drawn international attention, and the dynamics between the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia will continue to evolve as the situation develops. As both sides navigate this complex landscape, the implications of U.S. military support and strategic decisions will play a crucial role in shaping the future of the conflict. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.